Okay, just about to mark up a chart and thought, let me bring you guys along for the whole journey. So, yesterday I didn't post a video because it was a very slow day. I think because of the public holiday in the States, it was, very slow. I think I took out maybe $30 or $40 and that was it. And then I had a trade in that stayed the whole day in the first or second position. And then I let it just run through the night. And actually today it ended up giving me some nice cash back and kind of got me thinking that this is maybe a tactic that I'm going to be using. Mark up my charts, put in my positions, ready for the Asia session. So while I'm asleep, let it pick up some positions. And then when I wake up, normally I'm in some fairly good profit. And that starts the day with some good profit. So it's a great way to get that 500 or the 0.5% target. And I'm basically looking for that again today because we're already sitting on around $330 today. So I'm going to show you that once we've set up this trade. Okay, so USD JPY, why? I'll show you why. So here you can see USD at the moment is one of the strongest or the strongest pair. JPY is currently sitting at the weakest. So we're definitely going to be looking at buys on USD JPY. So what are we looking for in terms of target? Well, if we go to the daily, you can see that there was this massive sell-off. So those are going to be our kind of target points. We're kind of at the current target point. So we have to be careful. Are we going to see a little bit of a rejection from this? Possibly, but that's a good thing, right? Because we wanted to potentially pick up some of our other positions. So we're going to turn this into the black line, which is our higher time frame. Then the next target would be the 38.2 and then the 50. So it gives us an idea of where our sort of safe area is. And even if we want to be extra safe, we can go below there. So that's all I need from the daily. Now let's go look at the 4 hour. So on the 1 hour, it gives us a good idea of this bullish push up, what it looked like, right? So we can start getting some positions on the chart in terms of where we think price could potentially push, right? So on the 1 hour, I'm actually going to do this as blue now because we can kind of look at the lower time frame now as potential entries. I am going to go even further down to the 15 minute. So that's the hourly. We go to the 15 minute and I'm going to look at this push up over here. And then we can actually look at that. And then we can also look at the 0.76. Everything else we can leave the same. And this just gives me options for my entries, right? So we're looking for buys. We know that on the 5 minute, this is the kind of push up we're looking at now. But I would say I'm happy to look at that push up, which is probably similar to the 15 minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the 15 minute or these that are close enough. That could have been on the 4 hour or the hour. It's fine. So that could be entry 1, entry 2, entry 3, entry 4, entry 5. And then that could down there be the, let's have a look. So even further down would be that. So let's go 1, 2, actually let's do the 5th over there. I actually like how that looks. So that's going to be our kind of that's what we're looking at. So now we just got to mark everything up, right? We're going to look at marking everything up. So we're going to just get an idea of what that looks like. Our first position is going to be there. We want to look at, now that's not where my stop's going to be. I want my stop to be extra safe on this, right? So I'm going to literally go midway between the two. And then I'm going to be looking for the first position is not going to be a big position. My first position is normally a bit smaller. This is going to be 259.7. What is this? USD JPY, right? Everything is the same. I'm going to start with 0.3%. USD JPY, I think. Correct? Yes. And USD JPY right now, what is the current price? Is 14359, 14359, 14359, 14359. Is that correct? We just double check 14359. That's about that. That's fine. And this is going to be 259.7, 259.7. And we calculate it to 0.16. Okay, so I'm just going to open my... Once we've got into this position, I will show you everything that's happened up to this point, how we've ended up with around $330 odd. Oh, by the way, check this out. How cool is this mug? So it's an elephant. The handle is the elephant. So my son has just come back from a school trip to Zanzibar. It's a bit weird to hold. A school trip from... Whoa. So he's just come back from a school trip to Zanzibar and he got his old man a mug. Isn't that sweet? So I told him this is now my favorite mug. So there we go. Nice coffee. Let's go. All right, so let's go to USD JPY. Move this out the way. USD, I think we have that already. Where is it? USD JPY. We're on the 5 minute. Okay, 0.16. So now I'll just show you how cool these are. 0.16. This is going to be a buy limit. We just double click on that to get ready for the actual numbers. Copy that and place it in. So that's your price. Paste that in. Now, the only other thing we need for now is the stop. Take profit is not even that important right now. We just need that position, the entry, and the stop. That's the most important. All right, first position is in. I don't want to leave it out, so I might switch it up a little bit. All right, just make sure that stop is still the same. That probably would have moved. All right, there we go. So now we just keep putting the other position. Easy to do. So this is going to be the second position, and now it is 240.8. 240.8. Now I'm going to change my risk now. Slightly high, 0.4, and yeah, 0.23. All right, so now we go 0.23, 0.23, and we go for a buy limit. There it is. I'm going to keep pushing this up. All right, next position is going to be there. That is 220. We have to be careful. There's big news today. What did I say? 220, right? 220. 0.5. I think that's it. 0.32. 0.32. I've got to stop loss on the other one. I've got to do that. So let's copy that. It's easy doing this, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? Okay, and this is going to be the same stop loss. Paste. Fine. All right, close that. Next one's going to be about there. That's going to be 196. 196. That's the one. Nice. 0.58, 0.58. All right, let's just get these in. Paste that for now. I'm going to put one more, but I'll do that later because we're not even in yet. So, oh man, I should have just gone in there. We might have missed the entry here. It should come back though. It'll definitely retrace. Hopefully retrace us to at least that. Grab some liquidity and then push us. Go with us. All right. So let me just move my face out the way and let me show you guys what we had. Okay, so let me show you the history. So we had GBP USD. You can see here we took sell, 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 sell. Took some of the position out, went back up, opened us again, and then we ended up closing again there and then closing everything out there. So I could definitely have squeezed probably the 500 or the remaining to make 500 out of this trade. But it's always so much easier in hindsight, right? But at the end of the day, I still took out a decent amount of money, right? So if you look at just the GBP USD, which is, let's see where it starts. So from here, GBP USD, you can see $31.70, that's already 100. We only lost 17 there. So let's have a look at the total. So 100, so 100, 147, 147 minus 17. So about 130 on that trade alone. So still very decent, you know, nothing wrong with that. And then the GBP JPY trade, which happened overnight, like I said, and let's see the day 26, 27 from this one over here. So you can see negative 20, but then 141, 37, 31. Yeah, that was it. Coming into the day, we're looking at, let me just double check quickly. When does the day start? 27th over there. So let's look, 141 minus the things, so call it 120, 157, call it 190, 260, 260, 300. So it's about, yeah, we're on about 250 at the moment. I thought it was a bit more, so I thought it was 330. Maybe I miscalculated, but about 250 at the moment. And looking at obviously capitalizing on the USD JPY one, which is actually pushing away without us. So pretty intense. All right. So this is just pushing up without us. I'm kind of tempted to just get in, to be honest. It's not, it's pushed too far away. It should retrace. Now, the thing I'm a little bit scared of is we've got this coming up. We've got some red folder news coming up this afternoon. Not sure if it's going to impact the market a huge amount, but you just never know. All right, where were we? So let's have a look at a potential another pair. So let's go back to FinViz. What else are we looking at? USD, JPY, USD, AUD. Let's have a look at USD, AUD. USD, AUD or AUD, USD. So it should be selling off, which it is heavily. If we look at the daily, I'm just going to delete everything. I was looking at some things yesterday, move that down. So on the daily, we had this massive push up to there. Now we should be selling off. So I would say we're probably pushing towards there. That would probably be the next, unless we're going to now break. Let me just mark this in black. If we're going to break, then we could even push down to there. But in terms of target, we don't need a very big target. So that's on the daily. We go to the 4-hour AUD USD. So we should be selling off heavily. So I would say that on the 4-hour, we could even look at this move here. This will still be, I'll just mark the bigger ones, 0.5, 786, and then the top of that. That could kind of be where we're looking at staying safe. Go to the 15-minute. I'd say this is what we're looking at right over here. It's still pushing down though, so probably not ready to even trade yet. Once we get a kind of push back on this is when we'll be looking at trading. So this one might not be ready yet. We're going to let this one cook for a little bit longer and then potentially look at coming in on a. All right, so what I would be looking at in terms of positions here, I'd look at getting in maybe even on the 0.3, I mean the 38.2. Then we would look at the 61. Again, we can look at that, and we can look at that, and we can kind of hold that above the whole lot. So that could be kind of what we're looking at. If we go to the 5-minute, is it pretty much similar? Yeah, it's very similar on the 5-minute. But obviously, we are not yet finished with this move. So we're going to have to just keep moving our areas of interest. And that will be there. All right, I want to just wait to see if this turns around, and then we could potentially get in on a trade only if this DJPY one has gone off without us, which looks like it might have, but we could still get a turnaround here. So let's have a look what that looks like on, okay. It's pushing quite strong away from us. AUD, USD would be the other. All right, so this is going to be the other one I'm going to be looking at. No, sorry, AUD, JPY. Oh, I see, it's pushing back nicely now. No, is it AUD? AUD, USD, sorry, AUD, USD. That's the one. All right, so what we'll be looking at, you know what, I want to get in earlier. So I think we're going to look at entering on the first. Then this will go to the 0.5. Actually, this will go to there. This will then go to there, and then those will be further apart. So let's see what that looks like. So for now, this is what we're looking at, but we do need it to turn back a bit. It's going to be a sell. I'm looking at that. We're going to give ourselves a nice lot of room to breathe. This is going to push down to there. Get a nice lot out of that one. But it's going to keep pushing down. I hope it doesn't get to there before it turns around. The whole thing I really want to see here is I want to see something like this, tap us in and then push down, right? That's what I want to see. So it's always good to have kind of an idea of what market's going to do. Doesn't mean you're right, but as long as you have some form of what you think could potentially happen in the market based on your analysis, that's what you trade with, right? And that's all you can do. You cannot predict the market, but you can analyze it. Okay, that's enough of that. Bloody hell, I'm going to pass out. Right. Whoo! Right, let's get back to it. Euro USD. Price is turning around now, so we could potentially get in. Can we get in? Maybe. Let's leave that be. This one, AUD USD. Let's just have a look. So this is going to be AUD USD. Is that correct? AUD USD, yes. AUD USD, yes it is. Confused there. Okay, so that's 85. So let's go to here. 85. Okay, 0.35. So this is slightly bigger trade actually. 0.35 AUD USD. 0.35. Come on, don't. Okay, 0.35. This is going to be a sell limit. And where is this? And that's pushing away again. Copy and paste. We'll just put the stop loss in as well. We'll just do 2 positions for now because we might not even be entering this. I'll put the rest of the position in if we actually enter into it. All right. So whichever one we get into first is the one that we're going to go with, and then we'll delete the rest. Hopefully they're both triggered exactly at the same time. There's a potential because they're both USD, right? So if it's kind of moving based on what USD is doing, we could potentially get into them at the exact same time, which we don't really want to do, but we can deal with that if we do. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. All right, we close that. Next one will be over there, but I'm not ready for that yet. So let's go back to USD JPY. That's the one. Okay. All right, we are coming down with both of them. So let's have a look. AUD USD, what's it looking like? Could trigger both of them. I got to be fast here. I got to keep switching backwards and forwards here. So let's see which one gets triggered. You guys let me know. I kind of always cut the video short because it's not a live and it's just going to be a video. Let me know in the comments. Do you want to kind of just let me film what I'm filming, even if it's a slightly longer video, and you just see what I'm doing, kind of follow along? And then this essentially will be the same tone as the lives when I do the lives. But the cool thing about the lives is we can feed off each other. You guys can fire some questions my way. You can ask me things about prop firms. You can ask me things about the product that Blue Edge has. You can ask me things about what I'm doing. You can ask me things about my strategy. We can talk about random crap like space. You know, I was just thinking the other day, my daughter asked me, how big is space and where does space end? And it got me thinking, right? Like either way, it is completely mind-boggling to me. Like if you were to say there is an end to space, space ends. The way I see if something ending, it means that stops, but something else starts, right? There's nothing on the other side of something stopping, right? So wherever space stops, what's on the other side, right? And if it's infinite, how? How is something infinite? Like how can something have no end? What do you guys think? Does space end or is it infinite? But either way, it's a mind freak. Yeah. Anyway, we can talk about weird crap like that as well if we're on the thing and we've got, trades happening. It's a little bit slow and not much to do. We can talk about weird crap, We can talk about, I wouldn't get too much into politics, to be honest. So maybe we keep the politics to a minimum. But we can talk about sport. We can talk about, I don't know, whatever you guys want to talk about. Mysteries. Talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Keep it Forex related, keep it prop firm related, or we can go pretty wacky as well. I don't mind. It'll be pretty cool if we can, just chat about whatever crap and just have a good time. That's kind of what I want for the live. So the lives are going to be just go with the flow. Trade along with me if you are brave enough. But I will say this. I've traded for over 8 years. I've been hurt in the markets to the point that it's literally made a grown man cry. And I've also seen incredible success, like I just showed you, getting a $6,500 payout. Trading this strategy now, let me just show you quickly what that looks like. Win rate 80%, profit factor 10.9, almost 11 profit factor. Total net profit 1,500. My target for the end of this week is 2,500. I want to be hitting about 2,500 every 2 weeks, which means that we will get to our target 246 about 6 or 7 weeks. And yes, some people might say, wow, that's so long. But the point of this challenge and the point of this kind of everything I'm doing right now, this is long term. I know that this account can lead to some incredible, long-term growth. The scaling on the 5%ers is absolutely amazing. And if you can take advantage of that, I promise you, you'll just be smiling for days because money will be coming in for days. So that's the goal. I don't really care how long it takes me to get there. all I know is I'm going to get there. And if you guys want to join me for the ride, then, join me, because I really want to start doing some lives with you guys, but we just don't have the numbers. So number one, are you going to join the lives? Number two, please share with people that you think will, enjoy lives, enjoy watching someone trading, a prop firm, someone who is trading and doing, I think what not many other prop firms are doing, prop firm traders or content creators are doing, showing everything. I'm 100% real with you guys. If I do lose, it's going to be a big loss, so I risk 3%. My cutoff point is 3%, but I know 9 out of 10 times I'm not going to hit that, right? And the other 1%, there was always at least 1 or 2 opportunities to get out at break even. So even that 1% of time in my back test that I have taken that loss, there was actually a couple opportunities to still get out. If we get enough interest as well, I'll actually start, doing some members only sessions where I literally dive deep into my strategy. We dive deep into some education. You guys can ask a lot of questions and kind of just grow the community. But, it's all on you guys. I will only grow if you guys allow me to grow. So otherwise, I'm literally just going to be posting these videos and it's just going to be me talking crap to myself, which I don't mind. I do that all day, every day. Are we in any positions yet? Oh, it's slow. Okay, we're not in anything yet. That is USD JPY. AUD USD might actually go in first. We have also got news today. So the question will be, will I be confident enough to hold through news? Because if we have the right move and we have the right volatility, but we still got the right stop loss in place, it can pay off big time. So we still need about $250 from the market. So I definitely need to trade quite aggressively. My other option is kind of going in at a 1% risk just to make 250. Make sure that I'm just picking the right place to trade and then push for a 2.5% on a 1% risk. I mean, sorry, 0.25 risk. Yeah. All right. So I'll let you guys know what happens. Any feedback will be amazing, guys. I really want to just start growing this community, and I'm probably as real as you get when it comes to trading. I'm not flashy. I'm not flashing Lamborghinis around, maybe because I don't have one, but that's not what it's about for me. Yes, it is about making money, but it's about making money so that I can live, not so that I can show off. I want to make money. I want this to be a full-time thing for me. I still work on the sideline, but I want this to be just everything I do, right? And you guys can be a big part of that, right? If you guys show a huge amount of interest, we can literally just take this thing to the next level. So with that being said, guys, I'll catch you in a bit, probably like 5 seconds for you guys, and I'll be back with the results of the day. And hopefully we can hit that 0.5%, which will then be our second day, and we'll only need to hit one more day of 0.5. All right, back again, guys. So it's taken a little while. It's like towards the end of the day. It is now my kind of late afternoon, and finally something happening with this trade. So let me just go to, so you can see we did tap in over there. I was out most of the morning. Unfortunately, I wasn't. I am looking for, let me move my face out the way. Actually, probably don't need to because it's going to give me that information there. I'm looking for about 60 on this. I'm going to leave it now because it's too far gone. I don't want to close and then it keeps pushing down because then I can't really get in again. We did have news today, but it hasn't really affected anything. I was down here in profit, I think somewhere here. There was no point me kind of closing anything there. Normally, if I'm in a little bit of trouble, then I've got to be careful. Or if I'm not liking what the market is doing, then maybe I don't want to be in. The news today, it wasn't really huge news. It was red folder news, but I wasn't expecting, any huge move. It was just that over there. And even if you are down here, what you ideally want to see is like a massive push up and then come back down, right? So currently sitting on about $32. Today has been a little bit slower than I was hoping, to be honest. I think pre-news, there's always a little bit of a lull. You can see there, that range there had a nice push down over there. I was hoping for price to kind of push up to about there, tap me into, excuse me, at least 2 or 3 of my positions push down, and then I could have got a little bit more out of it. Didn't happen. Even now, I don't mind kind of price going back up. If price is pushing up quite high, then I will maybe close out and kind of re-enter. I might even do that now, but I'm just going to wait to see what price does. If I feel like I'm too late, then I'm not going to close it. I want to make sure that I'm getting something and I feel like I can still get more, right? So I'm going to keep running this until kind of later or early evening. Hopefully by then we would have tapped into at least. I might even push this. I actually pulled this down just because, go for about 50 odd. I'm happy with that, to be honest. Pull it up a little bit. So if we do tap down into it, that's okay. Yeah, so if we get 50 from that, that's okay. Then we're sitting on around $300 for the day. Not bad. There is still maybe some room to get out another 200, but I'm not going to force it. Yeah, we'll see how things go, to be honest. It's a 0.35. I'm actually going to double up on this. I'm going to close this quickly, close that, and I'm going to open it over there. Another sell right over there. kind of on this fair value gap there, because we have broken that. If I were to draw a line on that, you will see that we have broken this very slow. Right, so you can see that. We're not quite there. Let me just pull that down slightly. But you can see we have broken that with the body is what I'm trying to say here. Double tap that. Perfect. So if I can kind of double up on these every now and then. So I'm too scared to move it around because even with some lag, I might be kind of like messing around with the trade a bit too much. Right, come on, tap us in. There we go. All right, back in. So that's the perfect example of how you can kind of take a little bit more out. But I talked about that before, where you kind of squeeze as much out of the market as you possibly can. And that's all I'm doing there is I'm just squeezing. And now I am going to try and squeeze out of an, oh, come on, man. So laggy. I'm going to try squeeze out another 50 from that. There we go. Aim for about 50 on that. Ideally, what I'd like to see is a move up and enter into a second position, because then we can potentially squeeze out 100. Third position, we can potentially squeeze out 200. So at the moment, we are close. Let me just work it out quickly. I'll work it out for you guys. 1 second, I will be back. So let's go history. Okay, so we are currently at 239. 239 is what we're currently at. So still a little bit to go. Kind of halfway to where I want to be. So yeah, we still got a little bit. I need price to start getting a bit more aggressive. Maybe I should have been in GBP USD. Let's have a look at that. Pretty much the same thing, to be honest. Euro USD. The other pair I was looking at, if you guys remember, was USD JPY. So AUD USD tapped me in first. I think I would have been in down. Was it here? Was it up here? I think it was up here. Yeah, so it might have been a better trade, but you know, is what it is. I said whichever one taps first, that's the one I'm going to go with. So we'll see how this plays out. All right, catch you guys in a bit. Okay, back again, guys. And I did something stupid yesterday. So it's the next day, and I did something really stupid. I kind of went off script and took a trade I shouldn't and ended up paying. So let me walk you through that. Took a bigger loss than, you know, I should have taken. So we were sitting on about $300 in profit. Let me just go to, where is it? This. So we can see we're kind of back on doing our thing, trading again as we were. But if I go to the history here, I took a 0.5% trade up over here on GBP JPY. I was trading, it was actually the New York Open. It was a really nice looking orb setup, if anyone knows orb, opening range, breakout. And I was looking at, because we had a massive push up and buys were definitely in play. And then that was my loss. So that to there is $500, right? And that just shows you why I trade the way I do. Then if I zoom out, I've got all of this, and I'm never really risking more than 400 or 500, max maybe 1,000. So it just shows you how good this system actually is that I'm trading. Yes, you make smaller profits, takes a little bit longer to kind of get to those profits, but you don't have these days that you kind of just blow everything you made. And I'll make this back in 2 days, no problem, not stressed about that. I suppose a moment that I was like, you know what, I can potentially get another 250. I was actually just looking for $250. So all I would have needed is like a turnaround to about there, and I would have been fine because I was looking for that $500. And as a result, I end up losing about $250 because we had about $250, $300 in the bag already. So I ended up losing $545. So yeah, is what it is, guys. We keep trading. So yesterday was our first loss. And the only thing that really sucks about that, to be honest, is that it has affected not so much my win rate. Win rate is still there on 80%. Massively affect my profit factor though, because my profit factor was sitting at around 11, 12, and now it's bumped all the way down to 2.3. And yeah, it's disappointing because it was going so well. It was a nice equity curve as well, and then I've kind of just ruined what could be a really nice equity curve. I mean, we're not out. Don't get me wrong. I'm not stressed about it at all. But with that being said, just frustrating, you know, that just make a call and it goes against you. You kind of decide to go off track. Just stick to the plan. I suppose I always talk about learning from your losses and learning from your mistakes. And I definitely learned from there. What did I learn? I learned stick to the plan. Don't try anything. Just stick to the plan. You can try stuff on a demo account when you're, you know, working stuff out. That's when you can try stuff, not when you're actually in the challenge. So that's what I learned. And I hope that also helps anyone else out there that does the same thing. Just do it away from your main accounts. Your main accounts are for sticking to the plan. End of story. All right, so we've already closed about $30 today. This is taking a bit longer. It was kind of on the 15 minutes, so it is going to be a little bit of a longer trade just because of how everything was kind of setting up. But yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on this. I'm going to keep closing if I can. So if this gets to about another 10 or 20, I'm going to wait to see how this reacts. Because if this does push up a lot higher, then I will maybe see if I can get more out of it, like another 100, 150 out of that. Today's target is 250. That's my target for today. Essentially today, I just want to make back yesterday's loss. Then I'm happy with that. And then we kind of just, reset and go again. So if this gets to about 25, 30, I might close it. If I see that it is kind of reacting off of this, which it is, I want to see if it can break that. If it can break it, we will keep it going. What are we sitting on now? We've still got about 2 minutes with this candle. I want to see what this candle does. If not, then I might just close, reopen again, which I've already done now. So about 13, 14, maybe I'll wait till it gets to about 20. I want to see what the next few candles do, and then, that's what we'll do. But essentially, this is also kind of today's video. So this video is essentially the last 2 videos. And then tomorrow, what I will do is I'll kind of bring you an update on what happened today with the kind of breakdown of tomorrow's trade. Okay, so we're going to just keep looking at what today does. I will look at getting as much out of the market as possible, 250 target, and that's it, guys. So yeah, we messed up. Not end of the world. It's going to take me a couple days to recover from that. Just a silly mistake. Learned my lesson. Won't be doing that again. I'm just going to stick to the plan now. I've got to keep reminding myself this account is for long-term growth. It's not about quick, fast scalps. I can do that on another account. This account is only for long-term growth, and that's it. And I've got to stick to that. So if there's any kind of lesson in this for you guys as well, stick to your plan, guys, because all the hard work you do building up a strategy, doing your backtesting, everything you do, all the data you collect is to build a plan. So when you actually start trading for real, wherever you're doing that on your own account, on a challenge account, on a funded account, just stick to the plan, because otherwise, what's the point? Thank you very much for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow with the breakdown of the new day's trades. Tomorrow, I'll try and start the recording when I'm actually marking up my charts, and we'll go over everything I'm looking at. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining, and bye for now.